Hello, and welcome to Ebbs and Flows, the show where we wrap up the week that was in rugby league. I'm your host, Tom Edwards, and I'm excited to introduce my friend, my esteemed friend, Sebastian Benson. Seb, how are you?
Tom, I am wonderful, mate. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Had a pretty good weekend, watched a bit of footy, cricket season starting back up, so there's plenty of sport on, and keen to get into a big show with you. How was your weekend, mate?
Well, mate, I actually went to the races this weekend. It's a whole lot of fun. Went to the Everest. Did not win a single race, unfortunately.
Did not win. How much money went down the drain? A bit too much to...
Too much money, mate. Well, we've got a big show ahead. We'll be wrapping up the Pacific Championships and previewing the next week's games. We'll also be jumping in the street with our roving Ranger reporter, Will, and we'll be receiving some fan mail at the end of the show and discussing that. You keen, Seb?
I can't wait, Tom. Let's not muck around.
Let's just go straight into it. So, firstly, we'll just do a bit of positive, negative, and interesting facts about the NRL season. What was your positive thing about the NRL season, Will? Seb?
My highlight, mate, was probably the Origin series. Yeah, it was a really great contest between two great sides. Queensland, obviously, they came out and chucked a couple punches in the opening match, and obviously highlighted by the Sawali tackle. That was a crazy moment in the series. Then New South Wales, under Madge, they really battled hard, got back into the series after a big win at the G, and then that famous win up at Suncorp. It was a great series, and I've caught myself rewatching the highlights on a number of occasions. What was your highlight?
My highlight? I'm going off the footy field a bit.
Okay.
My highlight, Nico Hines. He's a great man, a great role model for our game. I heard his story the other week. Helped a man.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah, the man who was obviously going through a tough time, and Nico helped him out.
Yeah, helped him. Apparently, he was on the bridge. Nico Hines talked him down. He's a great advocate for our game. I'd for sure say. Okay, we'll move on to the negative now, Seb. Yeah. What was your downer for the season? Mine's
probably more so off the field and more into the admin side of the game as well, mate. And it comes with the expansion complications. Obviously, the Dolphins came into the season or came into the competition a couple of years ago, and they've been a huge success. Like obviously, Wayne Bennett went up there. There was a lot of hype. They knocked off the Roosters in their first game, and they've had two relatively good seasons where they've almost played finals. And I feel like everyone's really excited for the next stage of expansion. It's just been a little bit of a mess with, the talks about Papua New Guinea. The failures of the Perth Bears bid is a bit unfortunate. And, it's just been a bit messy. I would love to see a second team in New Zealand or another team in Queensland, but they've gone in a different direction. I just want to see another team in the NRL because I feel like if we want to be a national game, we need more teams.
Fair enough, because my negative too was also expansion.
Yep.
I was really hoping the Bears would get in this year, but unfortunately, as we all know, they lowballed them, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. Because it'd be great to see, as we've got the jersey right here, it'd be great to see the Bears brand back in the NRL. An historic brand.
Because now the NRL, they're talking about propping up their own, like building their own franchise from scratch. And I saw something that they want to maybe do the Western Reds again and just do it on their own standalone, which is a very ballsy move, especially because the rhetoric about how to do expansion lately has been to take a now defunct team and, bring them back up so then you still have some existing fans in the game.
Well, best moved on to that. Best move on from that, eh? Because I know we could both be discussing that for hours, couldn't we?
We could, mate. We could.
Give me an interesting takeaway you had from the season.
Mate, the most interesting part of this season for me was the success of Vegas. I'm a bit of a pessimist, you would know this. I always look on the sort of the downside of things, and I was very sceptical about the Vegas experiment, coming off, and it was a raging success. They got over 40,000 in the stadium. There were fans from Australia, fans from the UK, fans from the US. It was a great event and a great occasion. And
how fun did the weekend look?
Weekend looked great, mate. We'll have to try and get down there next year, maybe.
Oh, we'd have a world of fun.
We need a bit more coin, I'd say, because if you lost a bit of money at the races, I don't know how you go in Vegas.
I lose a lot of money at some establishments, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what was your interesting, mate?
My interesting thing. So, Australia just played last weekend, and they announced the squads the other week.
They did.
Both Origin captains were not selected. Daly Cherry-Evans and Jake Trbojevic, both not selected.
Both Manly players.
Shock
horror.
We'll move on from that. Did you catch the game on the weekend?
I did catch the game, the Australia-Tonga game.
Australia-Tonga.
I did. Bit of an interesting game, wasn't it? I will say it wasn't I feel like going into these internationals, you're always it always just feels like a bit of a sweet treat at the end of the season. Like you've got out of the NRL and it's like, all right, now it's some internationals. And I was looking forward to it. I sat down and watched it, and I don't know, the game was it was a bit of a letdown for me. I feel like both teams were really scrappy. Australia obviously coming into a new era. We're trying to build some new combinations, and yeah, it was a bit of a scrappy game. Australia got the win, so what can you say?
I heard a good quote from Mal Meninga. He said he was happy with their defensive effort. Obviously, kept them scoreless, but they're attacking for it's a quality side, right? NRL players littered throughout the team. The attacking should be pretty well sweet, but he said he was not very happy with their attack, and that's a fair enough point. Scoring 3 tries, I think only one of those tries was off an intercept. Yeah. And another one was just
an intercept, then there was kind of like a Dearden got one late, just with a nice bit of footwork. Hammer scored a nice try. I thought Hammer was probably one of the Kangaroos' best.
Hammer's
as
a good
well
player.
Of Turbo had it was pretty strong as well, which was good to see because I was a bit surprised that he ended up getting making himself available, given that he's had a pretty rough year with injury. But
yeah, but
he did play.
Fair play to him.
Did a good job.
What did you think about the halves, Dearden and Moses?
They were a bit scrappy. Their first time playing together, and the fact that Moses is coming off a bit of injury, hasn't played for a while. I didn't think they had a great game by any stretch. But you know what? They did enough to get the job done. And what more can you ask? What were your thoughts on Tonga, mate? I thought Tonga were a little bit poor.
I looked at their halves and I thought, so they got Katoa, right, and that Tuilolahea bloke played for Huddersfield at the moment. I thought they're
a bit scrappy.
They didn't look in tune. I think they're too similar of players.
Yeah, Katoa seemed a bit nervous.
He did.
It was a pretty big occasion. A lot of people were hyping up Tonga, and he's been kind of not poster boy, I'd say, but he's been kind of he's the future of Tongan rugby league at an international level. So I feel like maybe he felt that expectation a little bit. But what more can you ask?
Their forward pack, though, did dominate the Aussies.
I felt like they dominated completely. It was a bit of a shame because every time they got down into attacking territory, they just struggled to get over the try line. But their forward pack actually, I felt like they were beating our forward pack, which was saying something.
We'll move on from that. Next week's game. Ooh. Australia versus New Zealand.
Huge
An
game.
old rivalry coming back. What do you reckon?
It's going to be a cracking game. It's a bit weird way this competition works because we haven't had a look at New Zealand yet. Like, say New Zealand, it was a 4-team competition. We had a look at New Zealand. Like the old 4 nations, it used to be, New Zealand would play England and then we'd play Samoa or whoever. And you'd get a look at both teams. So it's a bit hard to make predictions. I feel like New Zealand will be scrappy as well. I think, obviously, Sean Johnson's back. That's an interesting part of it. And it'll be interesting to see how they fit him into the team. But, yeah, I feel like it'll be a cracking game. Purely because of how both teams played on the weekend, I would feel like Australia are favourites because they've had an extra hit out.
Yeah.
Now, leading into it, I was kind of a bit more leaning towards New Zealand might have us covered. But given that Australia have had a week to kind of work on their combinations, I feel like they'll get it done. What about you, mate? How are you feeling about that one?
I think New Zealand get over the line. I really do. Sean Johnson, I can feel it. A fairy tale finish for him. His last 3 games of his career, I reckon they get the dub done and they back-to-back champ. Now, are you excited?
I'm very excited. I love this segment.
I'm excited too, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great honour to introduce our favourite segment. It's my distinct honour to introduce a man who, although was small in stature, sure that makes up for it in his astute knowledge of rugby league. Ladies and gentlemen, he's short, he's small, he's red, William Rumgay.
Guys, thank you so much. Tom, thank you for that lovely introduction. Thank you, guys. Great show so far. Really enjoying it.
How was England? You just got back?
Oh, mate, I did. It was it was really good, mate. I actually got to go to the Super League Grand Final the other week. Mate, it was a great competitive game. Hull versus Wigan. Honestly, some great rugby was played. Proper league, really tight competitive match. It reminded me of the Panthers versus Storm we saw a few weeks ago. Really close. Bevan French scoring the only try of the game. And great atmosphere. 68,000 packed into Old Trafford. It just shows how much the league is growing, honestly.
I saw Nathan Cleary was over there too.
Yeah, he was. I think he was with his missus, the Matilda's superstar, Mary Fowler, from Manchester City. And honestly, guys, I have to ask this question. Rugby booming so much in the UK at the moment. Do you think they can attract stars from Australia, such as Nathan Cleary, who's achieved it all in Australia?
I could see him going over there for sure. They do say love will make you do mysterious things. I could definitely see him going over there, but it's just, I think it's only a matter of time, not if. That's my opinions on it. But we'll move on from that. We'll just keep the show going, fellas. I understand we've sent you out this week and you put you to work straight away after getting off that plane.
Yes, Tom, straight off the plane. I've been on the streets this week asking some of the general public some of rugby league's most important questions that need to be answered. Roll the footage.
Oh, thanks, Will and the team. Now, today I'm interviewing the general public about some of rugby league's most important questions. I'm sure we're going to hear about some fun and interesting stuff, guys. What's your name?
Alessa.
Oh,
Hello.
nice
What's
to
your
meet you,
name?
Alessa. Will.
Hello, Will.
Hi.
Charlie.
Derek.
Oh, nice to meet you, Derek.
My name's Jake Martin.
Nice to meet you, Jake.
It's Cheyenne.
What are your thoughts on rugby league?
I have almost no thoughts. All that I know is that it can be slightly aggressive and touchy.
Greatest game of all.
Oh, mate, greatest game of all.
Greatest game of all. Yeah, we agree. Yeah, so rugby league, the ball you're holding, yeah, rugby.
Oh, I love it. Watch it every week.
Oh, nice, mate.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, it's good. We all agree. It's a great sport. Who is Australia playing this Friday night?
Oh, is it Tonga?
Oh, nice, mate. Congratulations. Well done.
They're playing Tonga.
PG? I've not looked at it. I have no idea. Maybe it's famous players.
Famous players.
I don't know. Who is this?
Oh, good
Can you
answer.
tell me the answer?
No idea. Next question.
No, fair enough. That's a tough one. Sean Johnson is back for New Zealand. What are your thoughts about that?
Good on him. Go out for one last game before he's done. Yeah. Oh, it's great. He's a modern day legend of the game. Love him.
Oh, well, you've got to agree with that.
Sean sounds like a decent name.
No, that's great insight. Are the Penrith Panthers scared of the Wigan Warriors?
Of the who Warriors?
The Wigan Warriors.
The Wigan Warriors.
Yeah.
Viking Warriors. Your team name?
Yeah, the English team.
I reckon they should be. You know, Wigan, they're back-to-back Super League champions, and I'd be scared of them if I was Penrith. You know.
Viking Warriors have like more stronger players.
Penrith Panthers, I want to say they're not scared of anybody.
What are your thoughts on Kazakhstan hosting the next World Cup?
Yeah, I didn't know that, mate.
You didn't know that? No, the reports have come through this morning.
Oh,
It's
really?
massive news in the rugby league world. Yeah.
That's crazy. I think I'm all for it. Got to expand the game, you know, internationally. Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Kazakhstan. Maybe there'll be some really good food.
Kazakhstan?
Yeah, Kazakhstan. Now that the Panthers have won their 4th premiership in a row, the first since the Dragons of the 1950s, how do you think that will impact their legacy going forward, especially given that they've done it in the salary cap era, impacted by the negative gearing and false play the balls? Do you want me to repeat your question?
When was the last time they won? What did you say?
The last time the Panthers won?
Yeah.
Well, they've recently won.
In
the
won.
last couple of weeks, yeah.
Okay. I don't even fully understand the question.
No,
Can we go to the next
fair
one?
enough. Yeah, hard question.
Right. They've had their time in the sun. I reckon it's Titan season next.
Yeah, well, probably the best team of this era that we'll ever see. No team will ever win 4 again.
Now, we're going to play a quick game to test your rugby league knowledge even more. Can you name these rugby league players?
It's Cleary.
Yes, that's Nathan Cleary. Yeah, that's the GOAT, Nathan Cleary.
No,
Easy,
well done,
easy,
mate.
yeah.
Of course, you know that one.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
Absolutely not, but he seems like he might hurt someone.
Quit. I mean, Reece Walsh.
Oh, correct, mate. Both answers definitely weren't correct.
Yeah, that's Reece Walsh.
No, another one right.
Yeah.
Well done. 2 in a row, mate.
Reece Walsh.
Joe Biden. Sexiest man in the league. Gary McGuinness.
It's McInnes.
Yes,
Yeah.
another one. Well done, mate.
What happened to that guy? See? I told you it was a rough sport. He has missing teeth. They all look exactly the same, I'm not going to lie. They just have slightly different haircuts and some have more teeth than others.
Maybe Taylor Swift.
This one's a bit before my time, mate. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. No, not too sure about
No,
that.
fair enough. It's a hard one.
Is that Finchy?
Oh, it is Finchy. Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Jeffrey Star. It's not.
Jeffree Star. Oh, wow. You know what? Some people have compared him to Jeffree Star, so he's pretty much the Jeffree Star of rugby league, you would say.
Brett Finch.
Mate, we're on a hot streak here. All right, last one, but not
Last
least
one.
at all.
I feel like he looks like an Elliot to me.
Derek Joe.
Derek Joe.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
mate. Yeah, you know what? You're correct.
Nah.
No.
Who's that?
Blake Ashford, mate.
Blake Ashford, okay.
Yeah, hard. Last
Yeah.
few are hard.
Thank
You
you
very
much.
well, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know what, mate? You still did really well. Congratulations. Well done. Best so far today.
Cheers, mate.
Well done, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great interview. Thank you very much. Well done on the game. You did really well.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good, Will. Very good.
Some of your best work, Will.
Who was your favourite person to interview right there?
Oh, old mate Derek gave some amazing answers. I can't lie. He has got a pariah of rugby league knowledge, honestly.
He was a bit confused between his basketball players and
You could
league
say
players,
so,
though.
you could say so, but I thought he gave some great answers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to another favourite segment of mine, our fan mail.
Oh,
Who's excited?
I'm very excited for some fan mail, mate.
So I've just got them right here. I'll
them
read
right
them
here?
out, and
Okay.
fellas, just give us your thoughts
All
on
right.
them. Okay, so first of all, we've got Mike from Toowoomba.
Okay.
That's in regional New South Wales. I think.
Where, sorry?
Toowoomba, isn't it?
Toowoomba in regional New South Wales.
Is it not?
Toowoomba in Queensland.
Ah, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Mike asks, why did Fiji play so badly?
It kind of tracks on from what we were discussing earlier. I feel like all the international teams looked a bit rusty on the weekend. I don't know. I guess Fiji, they were just a bit scrappy. I think not having Coruscant, who's probably their best player, hurts. It's great for my Tigers that he's serving his, his suspension in the Pacific Championships and not in the NRL. So yeah, I guess that probably hurts them because I reckon he gives them a lot of direction. Outside of that, Kikau chucked up a couple really poor intercepts. And
I did see that,
cost them
yeah.
big time in the game. But yeah, Fiji were poor, but you have to give some credit to Papua New Guinea. They were up for that game.
Well, exactly, I agree, Seb. Like, I am sorry, Mike, but the main narrative that's come out from this game is why did Fiji play so poorly? When I thought PNG played some great rugby, some great intercept tries, really well organised, and obviously they're just growing and growing at the moment, and the sport is at such a peak right there over there. So I was really impressed with PNG, and I think more credit needs to be given to them.
Fair enough. Well, move on to the next question, fellas? Hopsep from Bankstown asked this question. Why did Serraldo not get Coach of the Year?
Ooh, I think he might be a little bit disappointed. It sounded like he's from Bankstown, so he might be a Bulldogs fan.
Yes, might be a bit biased right there.
Look, I feel like Serraldo had a really good year as a coach. I think there's a bit of confusion about what the Coach of the Year award actually means, because a lot of people always just say, oh, it has to be the most improved coach, basically, because Serraldo, while not technically being the best coach, he has done probably a lot with that roster that's not as strong as some of the bigger clubs. Overall, I think that Ivan Cleary and Craig Bellamy at the end of the day have had better coaching seasons this year than Serraldo. So I'm not disappointed with Bellamy getting it. But yeah, Serraldo, if he had got it, I wouldn't have been angry about it. I just feel like he wasn't personally the best coach this year.
I've got to agree again. I do believe Bellamy, Cleary, they're the more elite coaches, and I do agree with the Bellamy decision at the end of the day, because he took this Storm team, played some of the best footy I've ever seen, and took this Storm team to such a competitive grand final against the Panthers. Yeah. And some people even say the Storm played better at rugby league this season than the Panthers. So my decision would have been Bellamy as well.
Yeah. Well, move on now. Actually, a new one, Ryan from Liverpool, a fellow English countryman.
Liverpool.
Will.
Oh, hi, Ryan.
So I'll hit you with this question first then. Who do you reckon will win the England-Samoa Test Series at the end of the year?
I mean, I've got to back my country all the way. And it's really interesting that after the last Rugby League World Cup, there's kind of this little hidden rivalry between England and Samoa after whitewashing the first group stage game. Then, obviously, in the knockout rounds, got eliminated. Heartbreaking. Obviously, that iconic photo of Sam Tompkins in tears that gets brought to me by Samoan fans all the time, reminding me. But no, I've got to back the English boys this time. There's a few injuries with the Samoan team at the moment.
Yeah.
And the quality that the English players have, Wellesby, Radley, they play some physical, strong footy. And as I said before, the sport is so big there at the moment. So got to back England.
Second last question. Tim from Wagga. Now this is quite an interesting question to ask. Does the salary cap actually work?
Ooh, Tim from Wagga asking the hard-hitting questions. At its core, the salary cap works because at the end of the day, if you look at, like, say, the Penrith team, they've lost so much talent over the years because they simply haven't been able to pay them. Like, Kikau is realistically a $1 million a season player, but because of the salary cap, they haven't been able to hang on to him. Same with guys like Burton, Crichton, Coruscant, Luai. But I think it's more, the salary cap works. It's more a reflection of which teams are better at managing the salary cap, and I feel like Penrith, Melbourne, Roosters are all really good, and that's why they're the teams that consistently stay up the top. I saw an interview of the Panthers list manager recently, and he said that they've planned out their salary cap up until like 2028. So they know, they're looking at their current, teams in the under six, like the Jersey Flegg and stuff, and they know, okay, this guy's going to play centre for us in 2028. It was a really interesting yarn, and yeah, I just feel like salary cap works. Maybe the system needs a bit of a rejig though to maybe try and bring in some teams like Manly into the equation.
Well, I'll ask you this then, William. Do you think they should increase the salary cap? I know at the moment it's about 10.8 million a season. Do you reckon that should be increased a bit further?
That's a great question, Tom. I think it definitely could be increased, but we've got to ask Tim from Wagga, what would happen if they got rid of the salary cap? Because it descended into madness. It's more of an investment game than actual rugby league.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's unfortunately all we got time here today. Cheers for joining us on another episode of Ebbs and Flows. Join us next week for another episode too. Thanks, Seb. Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Good night, Belconnen.